3. Major landforms. In this chapter, we will learn about mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, rivers, and do MCQs, fill in the blanks, WH questions, do map work, do activity, hone our life skills. The Earth is the only planet in the solar system that supports life. It is made up of land masses and water bodies. About 29% of the Earth's surface is land and about 71% is underwater. The surface of the Earth is not uniform and it is always changing. Some parts are flat while some are raised. This variation in physical features is called relief. The main relief features on Earth include mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, and rivers. Mountains. The mountains are the elevated parts of the Earth's surface. They are about 900 meters higher than the surrounding areas. The mountains have steep slopes, sharp ridges, and peaks. They are the highest landforms on the surface of the Earth. They cover more than 20% of the total land area of the Earth. At the first sight, all mountains look alike, but they are formed in different ways. They differ in height and shape. They have very steep slopes. Their peaks are conical or rounded. All these variations depend upon the age of the mountains. The young mountains like the Himalayas are high and have sharp conical peaks. The old mountains like the Aravalis are low and have rounded peaks. When a number of mountains join together, they form a long range of mountains. The important mountain ranges are the Himalayas in Asia, the Andes in South America, and the Rockies in North America. Mountains often have a series of parallel ranges, which may extend for hundreds of kilometers. The climate in the mountains is cooler than that in the plains. Peaks of some mountains remain under ice and snow throughout the year. Crop cannot grow easily on mountain slopes because they have thin soil cover. These regions are also thinly populated because of an unsuitable climate, shortage of flat land, and lack of roads. Even so, the mountains are important in many ways. Health and tourist resorts have developed in the mountains because of cool and healthy climate. Rivers originated from mountains provide water for irrigation and for other needs of the people living near them. The mountains act as barriers and do not permit the hot or cold winds enter their area. Mountain rocks are widely used as building materials. The slopes of the mountains have thick forests and rich grasslands. Some mountains have rich deposits of minerals. Plateaus. The highland with a flat top is called a plateau. It is also called a tableland. A plateau rises abruptly from the surrounding area. So, its sides have steep slopes. The surface of plateau is often cut by rivers or streams. Plateaus are generally found near mountains or surrounded by mountains. Most of the plateaus are very large and extend over hundreds of kilometers. The height of a plateau is about 500 meters. Plateaus are found in every continent and cover about one third of the Earth's surface. The Deccan Plateau of India is vast in size, and the Plateau of Tibet is surrounded by mountains on all sides. Some plateaus have deep canyons, such as the Grand Canyon in the Colorado Plateau in USA. Owing to high altitude, they have cool climate and the growing season is short. The plateaus are very important and useful for us. Some plateaus have rich grasslands widely used for rearing cattle and sheep. The natural landscape attracts tourists from all over the world. Some old plateaus are rich in minerals like iron, copper, silver, gold, mica, coal, and precious stones. The waterfalls help us to produce hydroelectricity. Plateaus in tropical areas are good for growing crops. Plains, a flat and low-lying land surface, is called a plain. They are also called lowlands. There is almost no difference between the highest and lowest points of a plain. Some plain areas are absolutely level, while some have a gentle sloping. The plain areas are generally less than 200 meters in height, but the slope is very gentle. They spread over thousands of square kilometers. Most of the plain areas in the world are formed by the rivers. The northern plains of India have been formed by the Ganga River and its many tributaries. Rivers generally bring pebbles, sand, and silt with them from the mountains and deposit them in the plains. Such plain areas have very fertile soil which are good for crops. The plain areas are more populated than mountains and plateaus. Many cities and towns have come up in plain areas. Such plains are located in the interior of continents, but some other are along the sea coast. The plain areas are more important than the mountain and plateaus. The plains are important in the following ways. Plains have fertile soil and are suitable for growing crops. Most Asian civilizations have come up on the banks of rivers on the plains. For example, the Indus Valley civilization came up on the banks of the river Indus. Most of the big cities and towns are located in the plains. Construction of roads, railways, airports, and canals is easier in the plains. Many large industries have developed in the plains. Deserts. Deserts are regions that receive little rain and are barren. They have an arid or a semi-arid climate. Deserts are characterized by very low or no rainfall, less vegetation, very hot days and cold nights, high-speed winds and dust storms, sand dunes or hills of sand. Most of the deserts are located on the western side of the continent and on the leeward side of mountains. Some famous deserts are the Sahara in Africa, the Patagonia in South America, the Thar and the Arabian deserts in Asia. River valleys. When it rains in the mountains, a large part of the rainwater flows as small streams. Such streams join together to form rivers. The rivers can cut the rocks and make a valley. From the place of its origin to its mouth, a river passes through three stages. 1. The upper or the young part in the mountains. 2. The middle or the mature part in the plains. 3. The lower or the old part when the river falls into the sea or ocean. When the rivers originate in the mountains, they have less water and flow at high speed. The typical features of the upper course are canyons, waterfalls, and rapids. As the river leaves the mountains and enters the plains, its middle course begins. Here, the valley widens. In this stage, the speed of water decreases and the river develops loops, which are called meanders. For example, a meandering course of the river Ganga is between Allahabad and Varanasi. The river joins a bigger water body, such as a sea, in its lower course. Here, the river flows slowly and it divides into many channels, which forms a triangular delta near the mouth. New word: canyon. Very deep valley with steep side walls. Rapid, where the river flows swiftly at great speed. Leeward side, the side of a mountain that is sheltered from the wind and gets little rainfall. Barren, a piece of land where nothing grows. Arid, very dry. Recap: about 29% of the Earth's surface is land and about 71% of it is underwater. The main types of landforms on the Earth's surface are mountains, plateaus, plains, deserts, river valleys, etc. The mountains are the elevated parts and have steep slopes, sharp ridges, and high peaks. Rivers originating from mountains provide water for irrigation and for other needs of the people there. The plains are generally low and flat areas on the earth's surface and are also called the lowlands. Deserts are large areas covered with sand. They are generally very hot and dry. The rivers can cut rocks in the mountains and make a valley.